I'm scared to lose the best world I've ever made in hardcore Minecraft. I'm so happy with so many of these builds to the point that I almost never want to play the world again just to make sure I don't die. But that's what I love about the hardcore mode. Every single point of progression makes you risk what you've built so far. So, today, I'm risking it all. I'm going to try to kill all of the major bosses of the game. Those, of course, being the Ender Dragon, the Wither, and even the Elder Guardians, which I've never fought before. I'm also going to raid a Bastion, and if I make it through that, I'll raid the Deep Dark biome and conquer the Warden. Also, I'm doing all this without totems just to make it a little bit more intense. Let's get into it. The first order of business, we need some stronger defense. So I'm going to get full prot 4 on everything, get some golden apples, and then maybe upgrade to netherite. To do that though, we're going to have to go through this bastion. And I'm not the most comfortable raiding bastions, so it might take me a while, but I'm ready to do it, and this one looks pretty big, so I'm sure we'll find a template here. If you like this video so far, go ahead and leave a like just to let me know that I'm doing something right. Otherwise, don't really worry about it. Cutting forward just a little bit, I found 2 of these treasure chests up at the top, and I'm super scared to jump down here because, again, I don't have any totems of undying, and I know that the brutes can disable your shield. So I'm doing it kind of like a baby, but at the end of the day, it's better to be a baby and get the loot than it is to be bold, die, and lose like a 200-hour hardcore world. This world's not 200 hours, it's maybe 50 to 100 hours. I think we're at like 200, 250 days, so it wouldn't be that bad, but it would still be pretty bad, especially when I can just be a baby and get all the loot anyways. It took me a while to get up here, and I didn't find anything except one ancient debris. I also got the snout armor trim, but I don't really plan on using that, so far I'm 2-0. I guess the ancient debris is nice, but at the end of the day, that's not why I'm here. All we really want from this is the smithing template, which once I get, I'm pretty much out of here. And I realize I can get more aerial assaults going on for these chests on this floor. At this point, we're about 2 or 3 levels down in the bastion, and we're still not finding anything, albeit we did find this mending diamond pickaxe, which will be useful when we try to make a god pickaxe. Otherwise, we found a block of iron, but nothing too crazy. The next one, just some crying obsidian, and I guess spectral arrows, which I probably won't use, but I'll pick them up anyways just because they're kind of cool. Moving to this one, we have more crying obsidian, more iron blocks, and some gilded blackstone, which I guess looks cool. But after a while, I get bored, and I just go straight down to the treasure pit, and I start fighting these magma slimes. One of them snuck up from behind because he was really big so he could jump that high, so I'm just going to split him in half, and then I'll make my way back down. I'm going to destroy the spawner just because I don't really need to use it, and if I ever want to farm magmas, I can just do that in the nether ceiling. So, that being said, I'm going to move forward, get shot by a piglin real quick, make sure that nobody is sneaking up on me. Again, I don't want to get knocked into the lava. And afterwards, I'm just going to dispose of this piglin, and the treasure should all be mine. I don't think anyone can bridge up to me since obviously the piglins can't place anything, and it doesn't look like there's any paths for them. So, I should be able to loot this and not worry about anything else. That being said, I am still taking it very carefully because I don't really know what's down there. I don't know if there's any more piglins, and I honestly just don't want to take the chance. So eventually I get down here, and we luckily find our netherite upgrade smithing template thingy, and we also get a few diamonds, which is awesome, but I don't really need them, and another piece of ancient debris, which should cut down on our mining time later. Now that we have all this, there's not really much left to do in the bastion. I mean, I'm sure I could get all these gold blocks, which I probably will do, but I don't think there's anything else that we need here. We could get like the pig step music disc if it's in this one, but I don't really care about that. I just wanted the template, and I guess I'll grab these gold blocks as well. My inventory is looking pretty rough right now, but at the end of the video that should be cleared up because we should have everything we need, and obviously we have a bunch of places around the base to put everything, so it's not a big issue. That being said, get the gold, get out of there. On the way out, I found a bunch of endermen, and we are going to need ender pearls if we're going to go to the end dimension. So I decided to get them here in the blue forest, or the Warpwood forest, whatever it's called, just because endermen spawn here a bunch, and since I have a looting through sword, this shouldn't take too long at all. I got 4 ender pearls from that enderman, which is crazy, but then I went back home, duplicated my smithing upgrade, ran out of diamonds, and went down to the strip mine to get some more. Obviously I mined these up with silk touch, and I didn't cheat to do this because that would be pretty silly, but for your viewing pleasure, here's me getting a bunch. I think I get like 50. And then I go back up and start making a god pick. God pick is going to be really useful, and it's going to need to be fortune because we're going to use this to get all of our ancient debris. If it's silk touch, we don't get XP from the nether quartz and the gold or gold nugget or whatever it is down there. So it's going to have to be fortune, but otherwise it's a god pick. Taking that down to the nether, we're going to actually go ahead and do some ancient debris mining. This is super boring. I think it took me like an hour to an hour and a half to get all that we needed. So yeah, I'm definitely going to cut that up for you, but it's not the worst thing to watch. I mean, insta mining is pretty satisfying. Either digging or netherrack is not too bad. But yeah, using chunk mining here, didn't want to do the bed method because I've never done it and I don't accidentally want to explode myself. So just chunk mining for a while. I'll show you guys all the ancient debris that I get. And yeah, that's pretty much that. While that's rolling in the background, make sure you go down and subscribe if you haven't already. It helps me a lot and it lets me know what videos you guys like because I can see exactly which videos get subscribed to. Speaking of videos though, if you have any cool ideas or things you want to see in this series or maybe in a different series, comment that down below so I can try it out. I'm always willing to take new ideas, especially because I don't really consider myself to be too creative, so it'll definitely be helpful if you do that for me. Anyways, enough plugging myself and back to the video. At this point, we already have 18, looking on 19, make that 20 ancient debris here. So that's pretty good. We have enough for 5 pieces of equipment, which is perfect. But then I remembered I actually got those 2 ancient debris from the bastion. So I decided to get 2 more ancient debris. Using that, we can get an extra ingot, but then I found 2 more on the way back and decided to call it there. Coming back to our little base, I start getting some potions brewing just because these will be useful for the Ender Dragon, for the Elder Guardians, for the Ancient Dark or Ancient City Deep Dark. Everything we do is going to need potions, so I'm going to be doing that in the background. And we also make this bow since we definitely want that for the Ender Dragon fight. Now that we have all that stuff, we can go up into our enchanting tower and we can finally place down this smithing table. I kind of miss the old netherite template or smithing template upgrade thing where you didn't need the smithing template and you could just use the smithing table, but honestly this does feel a little bit better and a little bit more balanced, so I guess I shouldn't complain. Throwing everything in here though, we can finally get ourselves a full set of netherite armor, which is going to feel really good to get. I was going to do this at the end, but I figured if we're fighting all these bosses, we might as well do it as safely as we can. So there we are, full protection 4 and netherite on all the stuff that we have. We do have 2 more ingots that we could use, and I'm thinking about what to use them on. I'm figuring Gold Digga could do it because he is, after all, a god pickaxe. So I'll definitely add one to him, but other than that, I don't think we really need to use our last one yet. I think about putting it on my sword because it's pretty good, our axe is pretty good, but at the end of the day, none of it is quite perfect, so I might as well just save it for something else. Before we go back down, we're going to enchant our bow, and we get power 4 infinity, which is pretty cool. We didn't really need infinity since we have the skelly spawner, but at the end of the day, I'm definitely not going to complain about that. It saved us a good amount of inventory space, so I think we're ready to go. Now that we're down here though, we're just going to take one last inventory of all of our stuff. We have 9 slow falling potions, which will be useful to make sure we don't fall in the void. Ender chest full of goodies, including rockets for when we get our elytra, bunch of food, everything we'll ever really need. And of course we have our 14 Eyes of Ender. This should be enough. Usually you can just throw one and run for a couple hundred to 1,000 blocks and it'll be fine. They don't usually break too often in my experience. It's usually like the first one that breaks and then you don't really have one that breaks for a while after that. Anyways, before we leave, we definitely want to look around, make sure that we adequately appreciate all the stuff we built just in case we lose it all. Obviously we're going to point our bed at the sunset just so we can see it, say bye to the magic builds, the mines, the barn, the windmill, and go to bed. And go to bed, and go to bed. And I can never time going to bed right, but eventually we go to bed, watching the sunset, and we wake up ready to go to the stronghold. I'll pick up the bed just in case it's really far away and we need to sleep along the road, and let's see where it takes us. That couldn't have been more or less scripted, but yeah, that sucks. Hopefully 13 is going to be enough. Eventually we get into the actual stronghold and you can see that I have 12 Eyes of Ender. We did lose one more along the way, but that's okay. 12 is the perfect amount because even if the portal is empty, we can fill it up. We have this nice little welcome party here. Check out this little chest loot, find absolutely nothing good. Then we find some diamonds and the eye, I think it's the eye, smithing template, or not smithing template, armor trim, which is pretty cool, but again, probably won't use that one. And then I look around for a while. I've never really gotten this lost in a stronghold in a long time, but for some reason I just could not find the portal. Eventually I'm just breaking down all the doors and lighting up whichever areas I came from. If I fully clear out an area, I put a torch on the middle of the ground in front of it, otherwise I put it on the right. And here I accidentally missed the torch and throw an Eye of Ender, so now I'm down to 11. Hopefully I can run up here and save it because it would suck to have to go all the way back for an extra Eye of Ender. And I kind of give up on finding it, and eventually I run around and then I find the portal. So hopefully there's one Eye of Ender in this portal, otherwise we're kind of screwed and need to go all the way back to the Nether. Fortunately there is one, so I'm feeling super lucky right now. Everything's going well. I forget about the silverfish because I wanted to make sure I had enough eyes, break the silverfish spawner, make sure I go out under here and get rid of this lava. I don't really need to do this, but I always kind of do it just in case something goes wrong. And then obviously I want to seal up this little area to make sure that nothing sneaks up on me from behind and punches me into the portal prematurely. After that, we do a quick inventory and make sure that we get the coordinates for the portal, and I put these in my little coordinate book, which I really like carrying around just because it kind of keeps everything organized for me. So here we go, end portal, and I'll throw in the X and Y coordinates. Unfortunately, I forgot the Z coordinates, which I actually do want for this one, just so I can tunnel to it more accurately. So I'll grab those real quick, punch them in, and then I'll finish our preparation. We're just going to throw these Eyes of Ender into the portal, and there's no way that I accidentally missed the portal there, because now we are one short unless I can go find it. So obviously I'm going to go up and dig for this one, and I dig straight into water, which pretty much sucks really bad, and I start looking for this stupid Eye of Ender. I've never found one if it goes into the wall or into the ground or anything, so I give up hope pretty easily and decide that I need to just go back to the Nether. So this looks pretty unoptimal. I don't really think I'm going to find it, so instead I'm just going to go back down here and build myself a nice little Nether portal. I did actually bring all the stuff for a Nether portal just in case something like this happened, or in case I didn't have enough Eyes of Ender, so it's not the end of the world. I can just build one up pretty quickly, but it does suck that I have to do it, especially because I have to find a Nether fortress. I have the coordinates for one, but that one's like 1,000 blocks away in the overworld, so it's a couple hundred blocks away, but that's okay. At the end of the day, it's just a time game, and it's not really anything that's going to kill me, especially with this awesome armor I have. I'm not scared of dying at all. It's just definitely very inconvenient. Hopefully we get a good Nether spawn in the blue warped forest. If we do, then it'll be super easy to get Ender pearls as well. And if it's anything like the other Nether portal, there's not going to be any blue anywhere around. It's all going to be red and Nether wastes and no Endermen. So let's hope for the opposite. Coming in, we do have just a bunch of red. There is a crimson forest here, so no Endermen, but we'll find one eventually. Not too far away, we found this little weird Nether fortress entrance. It was kind of buried, so somehow we found the Nether fortress before we found a warped wood biome. That's honestly fine by me. We can find Endermen in the overworld or in the Nether, so it's not going to be too hard to do that after we get these blaze rods. Usually blazes spawn more often than this, but I hear some over here, so I immediately rush over and try to get this done as soon as I can. I planned on this only taking about 30 minutes, but instead it took me probably 30 minutes just to find the Nether fortress alone, and then I had to go find more Endermen, and it was a whole mess. I should already be in the end right now, but I guess this is the consequence for my own negligence, and it's not that big of a deal. I killed these blazes real quick. My inventory is full, so I do have to drop something, but before that I'm gonna eat some chicken so I don't die by accident, and I guess I'll just drop this clay, take my blaze rods, and start going to look for Endermen. Spent about 30 minutes looking for a warped wood biome, didn't find one, spent time in the overworld looking for Endermen at night, didn't find any, and then eventually I decided to go into caves to try to find Endermen, and I found this one just at the other side of the cave. So I built myself a little Enderman killing tube, and then I waited for him to come over to me. After aggroing him, he teleported over pretty quickly, and I started smacking him in the legs. Even though I have god armor pretty much, I'm still gonna fight Endermen like this because I don't really like fighting them out in the danger zone. They always sneak up on me in ways I don't like, so always gonna Enderman tube just to kill them like that. But now that we have ourselves some Ender pearls, they're gonna get picked up by a baby zombie, which we kill. This inventory is actually starting to be a bit of a problem, but I can put stuff in my bundle and it shouldn't be too bad. And then using our blaze rods, obviously we can craft more Eyes of Ender, but I don't want to get snuck up on by a zombie, so everything is just taking a really long time right now. Now that we have them though, let's go back down to the portal. We're finally here, and we can plug this into the last spot and build ourselves a nice end gateway. So now that we have this, we're just going to want to make sure all of our last second preparations are good. Namely, we want a water bucket in our hand in case we get a cliffside spawn or out in the void, and we want to obviously drink one of our slow falling potions. We're not going to need a coordinate book, but building blocks will be useful in case we're out on an island. And obviously, like I said earlier, we're just going to drink one of these potions. We don't need an axe for now, so this should be good. Somehow a creeper sneaks up on my right here. Literally no idea where he came from, but fortunately we do get a good end spawn, nice and encased in this little cave, so we can just dig up and start fighting the dragon. I've had some really crazy end spawns, a lot of island end spawns, so I'm really glad to just have a nice normal looking end at this point. So we dig up, find all these pillars. Honestly, it looks like a really big end island. I don't know why these pillars look so far away, but this looks good so far. All we're going to do is build up a quick little tower, 2 blocks or 3 blocks tall, so the Enderman can't hit us, just in case we take aggro. And then once we do this, we'll actually start fighting the Ender Dragon. As you can see, I have gold apples in my inventory. I always do this. It's not that I can't fight the Ender Dragon without them, but it's more the sense of reassurance that I get knowing that if I need them, they're right there. That being said, let's take out these pillars and the Ender Dragon. My aim felt kind of on right now. Usually my aim's not good with these pillars because I don't do it enough. I think I hit that one, we just didn't get the particle effects. So yeah, this shouldn't take too long at all. Especially considering my last hardcore world, we didn't bring a bow, so we had to pillar up to every single one and punch every single one down. Fast forwarding through the Ender Dragon fight, since it's really not that interesting, this is pretty much all that happened for the last 5 minutes. We get to the end right here, and we're actually going to kill the Ender Dragon in the sky, which is very different than our last one where we only killed with melee. Now that that's done though, we're going to collect all of our delicious experience points and look for the end gateway. I guess it's going to take us a while, so we'll get one more Dragon's Breath. I never really use this for anything, but I feel like I kind of have to collect it since I have the empty potion bottles and it's just sitting right there. Now that that's done though, let's grab up all this XP, and I have perfect armor and almost perfect gear, so we don't really need this for anything. I'll probably just waste it all on books like I always do and then never get anything good, but I guess that's fine. Looking around for the end gateway, we find it over there, and before we jump into that, we want to make sure that we get the dragon egg. So punch it, and I think it went through the portal. I don't know if it can go through the portal to the overworld, but it definitely sounded and kind of looked like it did. And I don't see it anywhere, so I'm pretty sure it went to the overworld. So for now, let's just go through the gateway and try to find ourselves in End City. After a couple thousand blocks of running around, we found this End City, and looking at it right now, it doesn't seem to have a ship, which kind of sucks, but honestly, that's okay. I've been running around for so long, I'm just glad to find anything. Honestly, just the shulker boxes will make this trip worth it, and obviously we will keep going until we find ourselves a nice ship. So sneaking up, I actually think that is a ship just hiding behind the city, and as I get closer, yeah, that's definitely a ship. So we did find a ship, which is awesome. I'll meet you guys once we get up to the top of it. Just jumping straight into it here, I'm not going to do a lot of footage of me looting the end just because it's really not that interesting. Fighting the shulkers is super annoying, so I'm just going to keep all that off camera for you guys, but I will show me getting the elytra. Sweeping Edge 3 on my sword kind of just obliterated all the shulker particles, the little projectiles, so that was sick. But here's the elytra, let's pick that up, and there it is. Now that we have that, we do have rockets in our little ender chest, so we can grab some of this loot and get out of here. Now that we have our elytra, of course we're going to want mending and unbreaking 3 on it, so I bully this villager into giving me mending, and eventually he does, so I'll grab one of those books, and then eventually I'll go ahead and throw it on my elytra. In the background, I'm going to be doing the same thing for Unbreaking 3, but before I get that, I'm just going to go ahead and put on Mending on my elytra, just because I don't want it to break, and I can always add Unbreaking 3 later. So here we go. Got myself a nice Mending elytra, and obviously I'm going to be trading with farmer villagers and trying to get my Unbreaking 3 in the background. Took me about an hour, but I got it, and now that we have all this, our gear is looking really, really good, so we can go ahead and take on the next 2 bosses. You could probably tell what we're doing based on this shulker box, but we have potions of night breathing and night vision and water breathing and milk buckets. So first we're going to go ahead and do the Elder Guardians, and after that we're going to look around for some ancient cities. I've never done the Elder Guardians, so I think this is all I need. Let's go fly out to the ocean. I think there's an ocean just over by the magic place this way, so I'll meet you guys when we find it. I'm under one right now, and I hate Guardians. I've never really messed with them since I've never done a monument, but the way they attack is just so annoying when you're out in the open. And somehow I burrowed directly into one of these main Elder Guardian rooms, which is awesome for me, and I don't know how strong they are, so I'm just going to pop a Gapple and rush at him. Looks like he's not doing too much damage, which is good to know, but what I didn't know is when I drank that milk bucket to get rid of mining fatigue, I accidentally got rid of my water breathing, So fortunately my helmet has respiration 3 on it. That's going to help me a lot, but for now let's just go ahead and drink up another potion, refill that little timer for our water breathing, and go try to find the other 2. I have no idea what the structure of these monuments is or anything like that, so I'm just going to cut it for you guys. Here's the second one. We're not going to use a golden apple for it because, again, he really didn't do that much damage, and there's a bunch of pillars that we can just swim around to break line of sight. And overall, this one was much easier than the last one. Moving to our third one, we are going to use a golden apple here because this is like a full-on battle arena. There's just a million guardians here, and there's not really nearby pillars. I guess they're kind of nearby, but I can't punch and hide at the same time. So I'm going to do this little ring around the rosy technique where I hit him once and then I swim behind the pillars to break line of sight, go back, hit him, swim back, hit him, swim back, hit him, swim back, hit him until he dies. Sometimes I do accidentally swim into the guardians because my field of view is just so bubbled up. So I'm going to swim over here, eat up some chicken, try to get a little bit of my health back, and then I'm just going to go in and burst this guy down. Now that he's dead though, there's not really much left to do here. We could find all the sponges, which I don't really need, and we can raid the little gold room. So I'll punch these guys around for a little bit, and then I'll go ahead and raid the gold room. I did have to drink a little water bucket, or a milk bucket for this, so I had to waste another water breathing potion, but I can't really see myself needing them after this. I also don't really need this gold. I'm kind of just getting it to get it and say that I did the ocean monument, but it will be useful for getting stuff like golden carrots in a little bit if we want to do that. But we could also just make a gold farm, so I'm not really sure why I'm getting all of it, but I am going to make sure that I collect every single block of gold in here. There's really not that much gold. I feel like there should be more considering how hard this is, especially if you want to do early game, but yeah, whatever. Let's find an ancient city. Now that we're in an ancient city, I'm not too scared of these anymore. I used to be really scared of them until my last hardcore series, but now I know you can kind of just fly away whenever the warden gets mad at you. So maybe these would be hard if you didn't have an elytra, but since I do have an elytra, I'm just going to employ a little hit and run technique. So every time I want to get something, I'll just fly in and I'll either break down the shriekers or I'll just grab the chest and run away. I'm looking for my specific plan of attack here, locating a bunch of the chests, and like I said, fly in, break down the shriekers, hear the warden spawning, get this last one, and then just fly away. Time is on my side here. I have a bunch of potions and night vision, so I really don't need to do much of anything. The only thing that we need to do is make sure we get lucky because I want Swift Sneak 3, and if we can find it, I want the Silence Armor Trim. Other than that, we're just going to leave everything in the chests, and hopefully this doesn't take too long. I'll give you guys a little cut of me looting through the chests because you obviously don't want to watch me wait around for wardens to despawn. But yeah, we didn't really find anything in this one. That's totally okay with me, and this one we don't get a full good look at because I think I hear a warden spawning. I don't think he actually did spawn, but just to be safe, I flew away. And up on this little perch, I can see where they are or where they're not. And yeah, it looks like there wasn't a warden here at all, so I kind of just freaked out for no reason. That being said, we will get this chest, and there's not really anything in there, so we'll continue until we find good stuff, and I'll meet you guys then. Here I find Swift Sneak 2 and Mending, which is obviously awesome, so I'll grab these, and yet again, my inventory is just being a huge issue. And then in here, I actually find the Silence Armor Trim, which is awesome. Now all we need is either one Swift Sneak 2 book, or a Swift Sneak 3 book, or 2 Swift Sneak 1 books, and then we're out of here. Coming back to this chest that I ditched earlier, I realized that no warden is here and no warden spawn, so I could have gotten this earlier, but we do find Swift Sneak 3 here, and we also find an enchanted golden apple here up at the top and just a music disc. So I'll grab the glow berries in case we want to use those, grab the music disc, grab the enchanted golden apple, and we'll get out of here. I combined the Mending book with the Swift Sneak 3 book, and just like that, we're going to have a perfect pair of pants. So we'll name these panties just because I always name my pants panties. And I really don't know what to name my armor. If you guys have better ideas, I'll change it. But other than that, we're just going to throw these skeleton skulls from the ancient city in here, and we're going to make ourselves a perfect chest plate. After this, I'm pretty sure all of our armor is perfect, so I'll make a nice button-down shirt here. Yet another lame name, but I didn't know what to come up with. So just like that, it looks like fully perfect armor to me. We don't have the Silence Armor Trim on it, so we are going to need to duplicate that up a whole bunch, which is going to take a million billion diamonds. But fortunately, I do have the diamonds because my strip mine is pretty sick, and Fortune 3 makes it pretty quick. So here we go. I'm duplicating these in the absolute worst way imaginable. But there we have 5, so we have 1 for every single piece of armor, and then we also have an extra in case we want to use it for any other armor sets. I'm going to use diamonds here. I didn't know what to use, so I just went for the flex option and did diamonds because they're the most expensive. Thought about using like amethyst or redstone or something, but yeah, just went with diamonds because it's a classic. And putting that all on, we can see our full set of drip. Now that we have this perfect god armor, we're going to accidentally F3 instead of F5 and go get some wither skeleton skulls for the last boss. This part didn't take too long. It took about an hour with looting 3, which isn't great, but I didn't do any spawn proofing or terraforming or anything, so all things considered, definitely not bad for wither skeleton skulls. I should have looked at my statistics and seen how many it took, but I was feeling kind of burnt out after this, so I just rushed it. Here's our second skull, which we got about 30 minutes later, and going forward another 30 minutes, we finally got this one, which was our third skull. We're going to go fight him in the end, which I always seem to mess up, but we're going to put him underneath the little bedrock for the bedrock portal, whatever it is, and hope he stays stuck. Again, I always mess this up, so we're probably going to have a real wither fight, but just in case I can cheese him, I'm obviously going to try to cheese him. It looks like I might have gotten it right so far, but you can't tell until he fully spawns in, and let's see. Yeah, I did it again. That's fine. I have a bunch of golden apples and even the enchanted golden apple. So worst case scenario, I can just tank him and spam him while I eat golden apples. It looks like that's what I'm going to need to do because I'm not really regenning very fast and I have like 30 seconds of wither built up. And he keeps regenning every time I try to run away to eat. So yeah, I think I'm just going to have to face tank and eat golden apples here in order to kill him. I do get him down to melee range pretty quickly. But instead of actually bursting him down with melee, I run away and try to heal, and this was definitely the wrong idea, because as soon as I felt ready to fight again, I turned around and he was flying up high back in projectile mode. So yeah, at this point I decided that I fully just need to face tank him, because I don't want him to regen anymore, so I eat myself a golden apple, turn around, ready to fight, see that he's flying, shoot him down, and then I just pull out my sword and decide to burst him down. I might eat one more golden apple if I need it, but at this point the fight is pretty much over. He's not really going to do anything to my golden apples, and since I have 5 of them, there's just no chance that he withers me down. Pun intended. Yeah, that is pretty much it for this episode, though. I crushed the Wither, crushed the Elder Guardians, beat the Warden at his own game, stealing all of his stuff, did the Ender Dragon, accidentally threw an Ender Portal, everything I could think of for this last final episode. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you have any ideas for the series, let me know. Otherwise, I might start a new series in the future with shaders. I don't have the best PC ever, but I'm pretty sure I can run it. So if you want enhanced vanilla Minecraft, then subscribe for that series below. Otherwise, that's pretty much it for this series, unless I can think of good ideas. I was thinking of like a castle or a village, but I don't know. I forgot to build a starter house, so I kind of feel like I should just start over and actually build myself a starter house. Anyways, though, make sure to check out the other videos if you liked this one. Take care, guys.